Hello class, today we will be going over Hypertext Preprocessor, or better known as PHP. Now keep in mind that this is a whole programming language. We can literally spend a whole semester just on PHP. So we are just going to go over some of the basics so that you get an idea of what is PHP, how it is used, who uses PHP, and how you can use it on your websites. I will be providing most of the code, so you won't necessarily need to learn a new programming language, but I do want you to be able to understand it and be able to recognize it when you see it on your code. So what is PHP? PHP is a hypertext preprocessor. It is a widely used open source server-side scripting language that is specially suited for web development, and it can be embedded into HTML. So what that means is that we are able to write HTML and PHP together. However, all the PHP scripts are ran on the server and then turned into HTML or text so that we never see the PHP code. Let's look at a quick example. So I'm going to be on my file manager and I'm going to create a new PHP file. So I'm going to go ahead and add file, and I'm going to call this file php-intro.php. Now, even though we can use HTML and PHP together, if it has any sort of PHP on that file, you have to use the extension .php. So create that file, and here we go. Now, the reason I'm using cPanel on doing this directly on the server rather than on Atom or some other coding software is because it is a server-side language. So PHP scripts can only be interpreted on a server that has PHP installed. So I'm going to open up this file and let me show you guys an example. So we have this PHP file, right? So ideally, if we had like an H1, hello world, and we save these changes, then I go preview this, dash intro. Right, when we do HTML, perfect. We see hello world. Now, in HTML, if I view the page source, I could see, oh, there it is. It says I have a heading 1 and hello world, right? If I was supposed to do that on PHP, so I'm going to delete hello world. And let's say that I put in some PHP code and we say echo hello world. When we save it, I gotta go ahead and refresh. Right, we still see hello world in PHP. Now the only difference is if I go to view page source, I don't see any of the PHP. Now let me remove that line break just to make it cleaner. Save that. So again, same result, but when I see the source code, you guys notice I don't see any of the PHP tags. I don't see the echo hello world. I just see the outputted HTML. So that's what being a backend language, server-side language means. All the PHP is hidden from the world, and then it is processed on the server, and then it is spit out as HTML, text, CSS, or even JavaScript. So who uses PHP? PHP is widely used throughout the internet. The major content management systems like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal are all written on PHP. Now, keep in mind that WordPress alone makes up about 35% of all websites on the internet, and more than 70% of all websites are using PHP in some way. Now, let's quickly go over some of the PHP syntax, or how we write PHP code. First, we're going to have the opening and closing tags. This is how the server will know how to interpret the code inside as PHP and not HTML or JavaScript. And this is how you guys will know that it is PHP code. So first, we're going to have a less than question mark PHP. That's going to be our opening tag. And our closing tag is going to be question mark greater than. So when you guys see this, you're going to know the code in here is going to be either HTML and PHP or just PHP. So another thing you guys are going to see a lot are variables. Now, variables always start with a $sign, and they should never start with a number. So for example, we could have a variable called name equals Mr. Garcia. And most importantly, every line or argument in PHP needs to end with a semicolon, kind of like CSS. Make sure you guys really remember this one whenever you guys are copying code, either from the videos, and if you miss something or the code is giving you an error, or it's just not running properly, make sure that you have those missing semicolons added, or it's going to give you a lot of issues later. Right, so you could have another argument, for example, age. Let's go with 30. And if it's an integer, for example, 30 is an integer, a number, you don't need the single quotes or double quotes around it. And like any other program, Python or JavaScript, we are also able to print out stuff in PHP. And in PHP, we use print and echo, but most of the time we just stick to echo. So we could go echo something, right? Closing semicolon. Save that. Refresh. And it prints out something. Ideally, we could have it echo variables as well. My name is... I'll do another one here. Echo name. My name is Mr. Garcia. All right, and again, if we look at this code, we see that we have our HTML, we have a head, body, and inside the body we have that data. My name is Mr. Garcia, but we never see any of the PHP code. Perfect. So this will give you a pretty good idea of a PHP. And actually, let me go ahead and shorten this up. We could actually put the echo. My name is name, and I am age years old. We save that and we refresh. My name is Mr. Garcia and I am 30 years old. Perfect. And you could add more variables, or if we change the variables later, if these variables change, let's say I'm 35, we save and it refreshes. Very, very simple. So again, we have opening PHP tag, closing PHP tag, and we have variables, and we can print using echo. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not gonna be learning PHP coding, but I just a little intro because we are gonna be doing some stuff with it.